Good day, everyone. I am Sanlikli Roman Tukluntad, and together with Mr. Imran and Miss Yasmin Maulana, we will be discussing the chapter 5, which is the Annuity due. But before we proceed, let's have first the table of contents. First is the nature of annuity due. Second is the amount of annuity due, which will be discussed by Mr. Imran Kasid. Third is the present value of an annuity due. Fourth is finding the periodic payment of an annuity due, which will be discussed by me. Fifth is defining the terms of an annuity due. And sixth, finding the rate of an annuity due, which will be discussed by Miss Yasmin Maulana. Now we have the learning objectives. At the end of this chapter, the student shall be able to 1. Discuss the nature of annuity due. 2. Determine the future value of an annuity due. 3. Compute the present value of an annuity due. 4. Describe how to find the periodic payment of annuity due. 5. Determine the terms of annuity due. And last but not the least, 6. Find the rate of annuity due.
Good day everyone, good day classmates. So I'm Imran Kasid, the reporter for today. Today I'm going to discuss the nature of annuity due. An annuity due is a series of equal periodic payment made at the beginning of each payment interval. In other words, annuity due is an opposite of ordinary annuity in terms of timing of payment. So sa annuity due, nagsisimula ang payment at the beginning of the periodic payment interval. Ang ordinary annuity naman, nagsisimula ang payment at the end of the periodic payment interval. So, basically, they are opposite. They are opposite in terms of timing of payment. So, the term of the annuity due start on the first periodic payment, which is made at the beginning of the payment interval and ends at one payment interval after the last periodic payment. So, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, magsisimula ang payment ng annuity due sa beginning of the periodic payment interval. So, the amount of annuity due. So, the amount of annuity due is basically similar with that of an ordinary annuity, except that the first periodic payment already earns an interest and the accumulated amount on the last payment interval also earns an interest. So, maganda gamitin ng annuity due kasi sa first periodic payment pa lang makaka-earn ka na agad ng interest at sa end ng quarter sa last periodic payment mo makaka-earn ka ulit makaka-earn ka rin ng interest. So sa first and last payment mo parehong makaka-earn ka ng interest. So later on I will show a diagram so that you can understand it clearly. So, to have deeper understand of the amount of annuity due, let us recall the data given in illustrative problem 4.1 in chapter 4. So, May deposited 10,000 every end of quarter for 1 year at 12% compound quarterly. So, this is an ordinary annuity since payment or contributions are made at the end of the payment interval. In a diagram, the data may be presented as follows. So, makikita natin dito. So, makikita natin dito merong quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. So, makikita rin natin dito yung ABCD. So, sa A, beginning balance. B, interest. 3% kasi ito yung hinati sa 4 yung 12%. Kaya 3% yung ating interest. So, periodic payment. periodic payment natin is 10,000 and sum of end of period, ito yung total na bayad niya sa every period. So, sa beginning balance, sa ordinary annuity, sa beginning balance, 0 kasi nagsisimula ang payment sa end ng quarter interval. So, end ng payment interval. So, 0 balance sa interest, 0, walang matotal kasi wala pa siyang naibabayad. So, sa periodic payment, dun pa sa end ng period, dun pa siya nagbayad ng 10K, 10,000. So, sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 10,000. So, sa second quarter, dun, sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 10K kasi ito yung payment niya nung last period. So, sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 10K and ang 10K nag-earn ng interest na 3, may interest na 3%. So, nag-earn siya ng 300. Then, nagbayad siya ulit ng 10,000 dahil sa periodic payment kasi nag-end na yung quarter. So, nagbayad siya ulit ng 10,000. So, sa sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 20,300. Sa next quarter, sa third quarter, meron na sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 20,300 and nag-earn ng interest na 609 dahil sa interest na 3% at nagbayad ng 10,000 dahil nag-end na yung third quarter. So, sa sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 30,909. So, sa next quarter, sa fourth quarter, sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 30,909 at nag-earn ng 927.27 dahil sa interest na 3% at nagbayad ng 10,000 dahil nag-end na yung period at ang sum of end of period niya meron siyang 41,836.27. 41,836.27. So, now, instead of having 10,000 deposited every end of quarter, let us assume that the amount was deposited every beginning of the quarter for 1 year at 12% compound quarterly. So, since the payment of the annuity is already made at the beginning of the payment interval, the annuity is considered annuity due. So, this is the diagram of the annuity due. So they have similar in the ordinary annuity. So, but dito sa beginning balance niya 0. Periodic payment, nagsimula yung period, nagbayad siya ng 10,000. Dahil nagbayad siya agad, may total na siyang 10,000 at nag-earn ng interest na 300 dahil sa 3% na interest, nag-earn ng 300 dahil sa interest na 3%. So, sum of end of period niya, sa first period niya, meron na siyang 10,300. So, sa next quarter, sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 10,300 at nagbayad ulit ng 10,000 dahil sa periodic payment at total ng bayad niya, total ng pera niya is 20,300 at nag-earn ng interest na nag-earn ng 609 dahil sa interest na 3% at sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 20,909. So, sa next quarter, sa beginning balance niya, meron siyang 20,909 at nagbayad ng 10,000 dahil sa periodic payment kasi nagsimula na yung quarter or yung periodic payment interval, kaya nag-down na siya ulit ng 10,000. So sa total of 30,909 na yung pera. Then nag-earn ng 927.27 dahil sa interest na 3%. Sa sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 31,836.27. So sa next quarter, sa fourth quarter, beginning balance niya meron siyang 31,836.27. At dahil nagsimula na yung periodic payment interval, nagbayad siya ng 10,000 at total ng pera is 41,836.27 at nag-earn ng 1,255.8 dahil sa 0.9 or 0.8 dahil sa interest na 3%. At sum of end of period niya, meron siyang 43,091.36. So, methods in computing the amount of annuity due. The amount of annuity due is may be determined using the formula and the table of factors. So, using formula to compute the amount of annuity due, the formula compute the amount of an annuity due for future value. So here our formula. So C is equal to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I, where C is the compound amount or sum of an annuity, and A is an annuity payment, and I for periodic interest rate, and N for total compounding periods. Let us recall the situation in illustrative problem 5.1 and apply the formula to compute the amount of annuity due. So May deposited 10,000 every end of quarter for 1 year at 12% compounded quarterly. So the given values are annuity payment A 10,000, periodic interest rate I 3%, total compounding period N 4 is equal to 4. Applying the formula, the amount of annuity due is computed as follows. So here's our formula. So C is equal to A times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to N minus 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. So A is 10,000 times the quantity of 1 plus the I 3%, so 0.03 raised to 4. 4 is the total compounding period, yung N. So all over I 0.03. Ang I natin yung 0.03 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.03. So pag i-compute natin sa calculator, ang maging result is yan, 4.1836 and 1.3. So pag kinompute natin ulit yan, ang equal is 43,091.8. Makikita natin dyan na iba yung result ng point nitong sa formula kaysa yung doon sa diagram na pinakita ko kanina. kanina. Kasi yung sa kanina, 0.36. Diba? Sagot doon, 43,091.36. Dito, 0.08. So, para maging 0.36 yan, gagamitan natin ng table of factor. So, methods yun siya. Isang methods yun ng pag-solve ng annuity due. So, methods in computing of annuity due. So, the amount of annuity due may determined using the formula and table of factor. So, papakita ko yung pagkuha ng table of factor para makita nyo na mag-result ng 0.36 yung 0.08 na nag-result kanina sa formula. So, using table of factor to compute the amount of annuity due. Table 3. The amount of annuity due of 1 peso per period is used to determine the future value of annuity due. The following procedures should be observed in using table 3. So, ang gagamitin nating table is table 3 to compute the amount of annuity due. Add 1 to the total compounding periods. This would serve as the point of reference in finding the value of factors. So, thus, in illustrative problem 5.2, the point of reference would be 5, that is 4, plus 1 is since the total compounding period is 4, so 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So, point of reference natin would be 5. Step 2, find the value of factor, which is the point where the number of compounding period n and the periodic interest I intersect. So, hanapin daw natin yung compounding period at saka yung periodic interest natin kung saan sila nag-intersect. At yun yung ating gagamitin. So, the periodic interest rate, illustrative 5.2, is 3%. Hence, the equivalent value of the factor is 5.309136. So, ito yung 5.309136. So, ang I natin kanina is 3%. And ang compounding period natin is 5. Kasi ito yung 4 plus 1 is equal to 5. So, ayan. So, nag-intersect sila dito sa 5.309136. So, yan ang natin gagamitin. So, step 3. Deduct 1 from the value of the factor. Thus, 5.309136 minus 1 is equal to 4.309136. So, multiply the result of item 3, which annuity payment, to compute the future amount. So, hence, future value of 10,000. So, multiply natin yung annuity payment, 10,000 times yung nakuha nating value sa table of factor, 4.309136. So, is equal to 43,091.36. Same na sila nung dun sa diagram kanina. So, that's all po. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Sanli Claremanto Cluntad and I will be tackling about the present value of an annuity due and finding the periodic payments of an annuity due. What is the present value of an annuity due? The present value of an annuity due is the sum of the present values of all periodic payments at the time of the first payment. In other words, the present value of an annuity due is the value now of all its periodic payments. The concept of the present value of an annuity due is basically similar with the present value of an ordinary annuity, except that there is an extra period added after the last periodic payment. Therefore, the present value of an annuity due is the discounted value of the amount that will meet the periodic payment requirements from the first up to the last payment. The present value of an annuity due may be computed using the following approaches. First is the formula, and the second approach is the table factor. So let's have first the formula. So using the formula to compute the present value of an annuity due, the formula is P is equal to A times 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I, where P is the present value of an annuity due, A is the annuity payment, I is the periodic interest rate, and N is the total compounding periods. The formula is only used if the payment interval coincides with the frequency of conversion of the interest rate. For example, the payment interval is made every end of the month and the nominal interest rate is converted monthly. So pareho silang month, hindi pwedeng ang payment interval is made every year tapos ang nominal interest mo is converted monthly. So hindi pwedeng ganun, dapat same sila. Now let's have an example. Let us determine the present value of illustrative problem 5.1 to get the total perspective of the present and future values of annuity due. So this is the problem. Find the present value of 10,000 pesos paid at the beginning of each quarter for 1 year at 12% compounded quarterly. Answer and analysis. The given values are annuity payment, RA, is equal to 10,000 pesos. Our periodic interest rate is 3%. Bakit siya naging 3? Kasi ang nakalagay dito sa problem is 12% and kinumpad siya into quarterly, which is 4. So 12 divided by 4 is equal to 3. So every quarter meron tayong 3% and the total compounding periods, and ito na yung compounded quarterly. So kaya siya naging 4. To solve for the present value, let's use the formula. P is equal to A times 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I. So, substitute lang po natin lahat ng given. So, ang A natin, 10,000. Tapos, times 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I. Our I is 3%, which is equal to 0.03, raised to the power of negative n, which is ang n natin is 4, and all over our I ulit, 0.03, times the quantity of 1 plus I, 0.03. Then next is i-simplify lang po natin. So itong 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.03 raised to the power of negative 4 all over 0.03. Pag-simplify, magiging 3.717098 and 1 plus 0.03 is 1.03. So, i-multiply lang po natin silang tatlo. So, meron na tayong 38,286 pesos and 11 centavos. The value now of 10,000 pesos periodic payments at the beginning of a quarter for 1 year at 12% compounded quarterly is 38,286 pesos and 11 cents. Or pwede naman nating sabihin na 38,286 pesos and 11 cents at 12% compounded quarterly for 1 year will satisfy the quarterly periodic requirements of a 4-quarter. So let us check whether 38,286.11 compounded quarterly at 12% will cover the 10,000 pesos quarterly periodic payments made at the beginning of the quarter. So magche-check tayo. So dapat ang balance natin after the 4th quarterly payment is 0. Start tayo sa amount established at the beginning, which is the present value of an annuity due. So 38,286 pesos and 11 cents. Less, so minus natin yung payment natin beginning of period 1, which is 10,000 pesos. So ang balance na lang natin is 28,286 pesos and 11 cents. And interest for period 1, using only the interest formula, the PRT. So merong 28,286 pesos and 11 cents times 12% times 3 over 12, so is equal to 848. So yan yung interest natin, 848.58. So idagdag natin ito sa ating balance. Now we have 29,134 pesos and 70 cents. Minusan ulit natin ng payment beginning of period 2 which is 10,000 pesos. So, ang balance natin is 19,134 pesos and 70 cents. Kunin ulit natin yung interest ng 19,134.69 which is 574.04. So, kung i-add natin sila, meron na tayong beginning balance of 19,708 pesos and 74 cents. And minusan ulit natin ng payment beginning of period 3 which is 10,000. So, ang balance na lang natin is 9,708 pesos and 74 cents. And kunin natin yung interest ni 9,708 pesos and 74 cents at idagdag natin sa kanya. So, ang interest niya is 291.26 cents. So, 9,708.74 plus 291.26 is 10,000 and bawasan natin ng beginning of period 4 which is 10,000. So, ang balance natin after 4th quarter is 0. Therefore, the quarterly requirements of 10,000 pesos needed every beginning of the quarter for 4 periods have been met by the initial lump sum amount which is the present value of 38,286 pesos and 11 cents at 12% compounded quarterly for 1 year. So, kanina, ang ginamit natin na approach is formula, right? So, ngayon naman, gagamitin natin ay ang table factor. Using table factor to compute the present value of an annuity due. Since the concept of finding the present value of an annuity due is similar with that of an ordinary annuity, except for the extra period added on annuity due, the table for present value of an annuity for 1 peso per period is used. So, ito po yung itsura ng table 4. In using table 4, the following procedures may be followed. First, deduct 1 from the total compounding periods. Again, this serves as the reference point in looking for the value of the factor. In illustrative problem 5.2, the reference point is 3 since the total compounding is 4. So, di ba sabi dito deduct 1. So, ang compounding period is 4. So, 4 minus 1 is 3. So, ang reference point natin ay 3. Second, find the value of the factor by moving your finger to the right of reference point N until it intersects with the periodic rate I. Since the periodic interest rate in illustrative problem 5.2 is 3%, the value where the reference point N and the periodic interest rate meet is 2.828611. So this is how we get the value of the factor. Yung nakabox, yan po yung 2.828611. Third, add 1 to the value factor to determine the annuity due table factor. So, ang nakuha natin kanina is 2.828611. So, mag-add lang tayo ng 1. So, magiging 3.828611 siya. Hence, the table factor is 3.828611. 4. Multiply the value of item 3 with the annuity payment. Hence, so para makuha yung present value, i-multiply natin yung value sa item 3 which is the 3.828611. So, 10,000 times 3.828611 is equal to 38,286.11. So, same sila doon sa nakuha nating sagot using the formula. Next is finding the periodic payment of annuity due. So, kung kanina ang hinanap natin is yung sum ng periodic payment, yung sum ng binayad natin every period, ngayon naman ang hanapin natin is yung ibabayad natin every period. The periodic payment of an annuity due may be determined if the values of the following are given. The first is the present or future value of an annuity due. Second is the interest rate, and third one is the total number of periodic. Same sa present value of annuity due, gagamit din tayo ng dalawang approach to solve for the periodic payment which is the formula and the table factor. Using a formula. So, meron tayong dalawang formula dito. A is equal to P times 1 over 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative 1, or the second formula, which is A is equal to P times 1 over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n times the quantity of 1 plus I, where P is the present value of an annuity due, A is annuity or periodic payment, I is periodic interest rate, and N is the total compounding period. For better understanding, let's have an example. A television set is being sold for 20,000 pesos and can be bought on quarterly installment payment for 1 year. What is the quarterly installment payment if the interest rate 10% compounded quarterly? Answer and analysis. So the given values are: present value of an annuity due is equal to 20,000. Periodic interest rate is equal to 2.5%. Bakit siya naging 2.5%? Kasi 'di ba 10% yung nilagay sa problem and compounded quarterly siya. So kung i-divide mo ang 10 into 4, mag-i-equal siya into 2.5. And the total compounding periods is quarterly siya, so 4. And ang hanapin natin ay ang annuity payment. To solve for the quarterly payment, gamitin natin yung isa sa dalawang formula, which is yung A is equal to P times 1 over 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative 1. Then, substitute lang po natin yung lahat ng given natin. Yung P, which is the 20,000. Yung I is, since 2.5% yun siya, equivalent ng 2.5% is 0.025. And ang N natin is 4. So, meron tayong 20,000 times 1 over 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus 0.025 minus 4 all over 0.025 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.025 raised to the power of negative 1. So, kung i-simplify natin itong equation na to, magka-come up tayo sa sagot na 5,186.69. Or using the other formula, which is A is equal to P times 1 over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n times the quantity of 1 plus I. So, same sa ginawa natin kanina, i-substitute lang natin lahat ng given values. So, yung P natin is equal to 20,000. Yung I natin 0.025 since 2.5% yung given, and our compounding period na N is 4. So, kung isi-simplify natin itong equation na to, magka-come up tayo sa final answer na 5,186.69, which is kapareho sa nakuha nating final answer sa isang formula na ginamit. So, this means that a quarterly payment of 5,186 pesos and 69 cents should be made at the beginning of each quarter to settle the 20,000 pesos at the end of the fourth quarterly periodic payment. Let us go further by checking if the account is zero at the end of the term. So, same lang sa present value of annuity due, dapat ang magiging balance natin after the fourth quarterly periodic payment is 0. So, simulan natin sa beginning balance of period 1, which is the 20,000 pesos. And bawasan natin ang first quarterly periodic payment, yung nakuha nating sagot kanina, which is 5,186.69. So, ang balance natin is 14,813 pesos and 31 centavos. And kunin natin yung interest niya, which is 370.33, and idagdag natin sa 14,000. So, ang magiging beginning balance na ngayon ng period 2 is 15,183 pesos and 64 centavos. And bawasan ulit natin ng second quarterly periodic payment, which is 5,186.69. So, ang magiging balance natin is 9,996 pesos and 95 cents. Then, i-add natin ang balance ni 9,996.95 cents, which is 249.92. Then, ang magiging balance na ngayon ng period 3 is 10,246.88. And bawasan ulit natin ng third quarterly periodic payment, which is ang 5,186.69, and ang magiging balance natin is 5,060 pesos and 19 cents. And i-add natin sa kay 5,060 ang kanyang interest na 126.50. So, ang beginning balance ngayon ng period 4 is 5,186 pesos and 69 cents. And bawasan natin ng quarterly periodic payment na 5,186.69. So, ang magiging balance na ngayon after the quarterly periodic payment is 0. So, as illustrated, the television set selling 20,000 pesos at 10% compounded quarterly for 1 year is fully settled at the end of 4 quarters with periodic payments of 5,186 pesos and 69 cents. Diba kanina ang given is ang present value of annuity due. Ngayon naman kung ang future value or compound amount ang given, the periodic payment of deposit of an annuity due is computed using the formula. So, merong dalawang formula. Ang una is A is equal to C times 1 over the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative 1. Or, pwede namang A is equal to C times 1 over the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 times the quantity of 1 plus I, where C is the compound amount or future value of an annuity, A is the annuity payment, I is periodic interest rate, and n is the total compounding period. For example, Jocelyn needs 50,000 pesos 1 year from now. If money is worth 10% compounded quarterly, how much should be deposited at the beginning of each quarter? Answer and analysis. The given values are compound amount or future value of an annuity is 50,000 pesos. Our periodic interest rate is 2.5% kasi compounded quarterly yung 10%, so magiging 2.5. Total compounding period is 4 since quarterly siya. Ang hinahanap natin ay ang annuity of periodic payment. To solve for the quarterly deposit, we'll have the formula A is equal to C times 1 over the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 all over I times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative 1. So, i-substitute lang po natin lahat ng given. So, ang C natin is 50,000. Ang I natin is since 2.5, so magiging 0.025. And ang N natin is 4. So, meron na tayong 50,000 times 1 over the quantity of 1 plus 0.025 raised to the power of 4 minus 1 all over 0.025 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.025 raised to the power of negative 1. And kung i-simplify natin itong equation na to, magkakaroon tayo ng final answer na 11,747.21. Or using the other formula, A is equal to C times 1 over the quantity 1 plus I raised to the power of n minus 1 times the quantity of 1 plus I. Then, i-substitute lang natin ulit lang ng given. C is equal to 50,000, I is 0.025, and N is 4. So, now we have 50,000 times 0.025 over the quantity of 1 plus 0.025 raised to the power of 4 minus 1 times the quantity of 1 plus 0.025. And if you simplify this equation, magkakaroon ka ng final answer na 11,747.21, which is same doon sa unang formula na ginamit natin. This means that Jocelyn should deposit 11,747 pesos and 21 cents every beginning of a quarter for 4 years to accumulate 50,000. To check, the tabular presentation appear as follows. So, kanina, ang kailangan natin dapat magiging 0 siya pagkatapos ng fourth quarter. Ngayon naman, dapat mabuo niya yung 50,000. So, start tayo sa amount deposited beginning of first quarter. Yun na yung 11,747 pesos and 21 cents. And kunin natin yung interest niya at i-add natin doon, which is 293.68 cents. And now we have the total beginning of second quarter na 12,040 pesos and 89 cents. And amount deposited beginning second quarter, which is 11,747.21, and yung interest, kung i-add mo itong 12,040 and 89 cents, pati ang 11,747 pesos and 21 cents, magiging 23,788. And kung kunin mo yung interest ng 23,788 is 594 pesos and 70 cents. Kung i-add mo yan siya lahat, meron kang 24,382.80 81. And yung babayaran mo ulit pagka sa beginning ng third quarter na 11,747.21, and kung i-add mo ang 24,000 pati yung 11,000, magkakaroon ka ng 36,130 pesos and 02 cents. And kunin mo yung interest niya, which is 903.25, and kung i-add mo yan sila tatlo, magkakaroon ka ng total of 37,033 pesos and 27 cents. And dagdag mo yung amount na ibibigay mo ulit in the beginning of fourth quarter na 11,747.21, and kung i-add mo si 37,000 and 11,000, magkakaroon ka ng 48,780 and 47 cents. And kung kunin mo yung interest niya, ang interest niya is 1,219.51, and kung i-add mo yan sila tatlo, magkakaroon ka ng 49,999.99 cents, and kung i-round off mo siya, magiging 50,000. So, based on the tabular presentation, the required amount of 50,000 pesos at the end of 4 quarterly payments of 11,747 pesos and 21 cents has been met. Now, let's move to the second approach in solving for the periodic payment, which is the table factor. Using a table factor, if the present value is given, the annuity payment may also be determined using the value factor by observing the following procedures. 1. Determine the total compounding periods N and the periodic interest I. 2. Locate in table 4 the present value and annuity of 1 peso per period, the value factor of N with its corresponding period interest rate I. 3. Multiply the value factor located in item 2 with 1 plus I. And 4. Divide the present value with the result in item 3. Hence, the formula is A is equal to P over table factor ng table 4 times 1 plus I, where P is the present value of an annuity, A is the annuity or periodic payment, and I is the periodic interest rate. For example, let us use same problem in illustrative problem 5.4 to determine whether the two methods will give the same result. To recall the problem, a television set is being sold for 20,000 pesos and can be bought on quarterly installment payment for 1 year. What is the quarterly installment payment if the interest rate 10% compounded quarterly? Answer and analysis. The given values are: present value of an annuity is 20,000, periodic interest rate is 2.5%, total compounding periods N is 4, and the annuity payment, yan yung hinahanap natin. The value of N is equal to 4 and I is equal to 2.5%. In table 4 is 3.761974. Substituting the value factor to the formula, ang formula natin is A is equal to P over table factor of table 4 times 1 plus I. So, ang P natin is 20,000. Then, ang table factor of table 4 is 3.761974. And 1 plus 0.025 is 1.025. And kung i-simplify natin ang equation na to, meron tayong final answer na 5,186 pesos and 69 cents. And kanina, ang given is ang present value, ngayon naman yung future value. If the future amount is given, the annuity payment or deposit may be computed by observing the following guidelines. 1. Compute the total compounding periods N and the periodic interest I. 2. Locate in table 3 amount of an annuity of 1 peso per period, the value factor of N with its corresponding periodic interest rate I. 3. Multiply the value factor located in item 2 with quantity 1 plus I, and 4. Divide the future value and the result in item 3. Hence, the formula is A is equal to P over table factor of table 3 times the quantity of 1 plus I, where C is the future value or compound amount of an annuity, A is the annuity of periodic payment, and I is the periodic interest rate. Another example, to check whether both approaches of finding the annuity payment will give the same result, let us use the given values in illustrative problem 5.5. So, Jocelyn needs 50,000 pesos 1 year from now. If money is worth 10% compounded quarterly, how much should be deposited at the beginning of each quarter? The given values are the compound amount or future value of an annuity is 20,000. Periodic interest rate is 2.5%. The total compounding periods N is 4 and ang hanapin natin ay ang annuity payment. In table 3, the value of N is equal to 4 and I is equal to 2.5% is 4.152516. Kung i-substitute natin ito sa formula na A is equal to C over table factor of table 3 times the quantity of 1 plus I. Ang C natin is 50,000 and ang table factor ng table 3 is 4.152516 times the quantity of 1.025. And then kung i-simplify natin ito, magkakaroon tayo ng final answer na 11,747.21 pesos, which is equal doon sa illustrative problem 5.5. And that's all for my report. Thank you for listening.
Good day everyone, my name is Yasmin Timaulana. My discussion is about finding the terms and the rate of an annuity due. First is finding the terms of an annuity due. So to find the terms of an annuity due may be determined if any of the following elements are present. So first element is the present or the future value of an annuity due, the periodic payments, and last is the periodic rate. So we have two cases to find the terms of an annuity due. First is, if ang present value ang given, we have this procedure to observe. So first procedure is divide the present value of the annuity due by its periodic payments. Hence, P, the present value of the annuity due, divided by the A, which is the periodic payment. Next procedure is multiply the result in item 1 by the present value of 1. So the formula of present value of 1 is the quantity 1 plus interest rate to the power of negative 1. Next procedure is locate the value factor, the product of the item 2 in table 4. Present values of an annuity due of 1 per period, making the periodic interest rate I as the point of reference. The corresponding value of N is equal to the total number of periodic payments or compounding periods. So sa paglocate nito is sa table 4, we're making the periodic interest rate as the point of reference. Meaning, dito tayo magbe-base sa interest rate. So makikita natin yan mamaya. Next procedure is interpolation. Interpolate in case the product of item 2 does not match exactly with the value factor in table 4. So in case na hindi natin exact na malocate yung value na nakuha natin sa item 2, we will use interpolation. Ito yung pagkuha sa isang value between the two given values. So last procedure is divide the value of item 3 by the frequency of conversion to determine the terms of the annuity due. Hence, T is equal to N divided by F. Let's try an illustrative example. So the present value of annuity due is 20,000 pesos with a quarterly periodic payment at the beginning of the quarter, 2,300 pesos at 10% compounded quarterly. Find the term of the annuity due. So given the present value, which is the 20,000 pesos, the periodic payment, which is 2,300 pesos, and the interest rate, 10%, so magiging 2.5 siya. 2.5%. And the frequency of conversion, which is compounded quarterly, is 4. Then hahanapin natin is yung N pati yung T. The number of compounding periods and the term of the annuity due. So, kailangan muna natin makuha yung N. So, to solve this, we have the procedure. So, first procedure is divide the present value to the periodic payment. So, 20,000 divided by the 2,300. Then, the second procedure, we will multiply it to the present value of 1. which is quantity 1 plus the interest rate, which is 0.025 to the power of negative 1. So we have the result of 8.48357. So using the table 4, in procedure number 3, we will locate the value factor using the interest rate as the reference. But before that, we should convert the interest rate into a fraction. So 2.5 is equivalent to 2 and 1/2%. So that value na nahanap natin na 8.48357 lies between 7.970866 and 8.752064. So this means ang N natin, or the total number of periodic payments in compounding periods, lies between 9 and 10. So para makuha natin yung exact N natin, we will use the interpolation method. As the procedure, sabi ng procedure, is kapag hindi natin, procedure 4, kapag hindi natin exact na malocate yung value na nakuha natin sa item 2, we will use the interpolation. So, paano ito? So, interpolation applies as follows. So, para makuha natin yung exact number of compounding periods, we will use the interpolation method. So, paano to? Kukunin muna natin, or given the two values ng number of compounding periods na 9 and 10, is kukunin natin yung kanilang mga differences. 7.97087 minus the 8.75206 is equal to 0.7811. So, gaya nito is kukunin din natin yung difference na nakuha natin na value doon sa procedure number 1 and 2 na 8.48357. Ima-minus natin din siya sa 7.97087, which is magre-result siya into 0.5127. So, para makuha natin yung difference naman nito, is kailangan natin itong nakuha natin na difference sa kanilang mga values. So to solve for the exact value factor D, is i-divide lang natin yung mga difference na nakuha natin, which is 0.51270 divided by 0.78119, which is magre-result siya into 0.65631. So now, to find the exact number of periodic payment in compounding periods is i-add lang natin yung 9, which is yung number of compounding period na 9. So, i-add lang natin to since ang sabi dun sa, or which is sabi dun is between siya sa number of compounding periods na 9 and 10. So, ibig sabihin, ang hinahanap natin na exact number of compounding periods is 9 point something. So, i-add lang natin itong 9 sa ating factor D. So, 9 plus 0.65631 is equal to 9.65631. So, now, next is the procedure 5. So, since the frequency of conversion is 4, because this is quarterly, ang N natin, gaya ng sinabi sa procedure 5, we will divide it into 4. So, 9.65631 divided by 4 is equal to 2.414. So, ito na yung magiging term natin. So, 2.414 years, or 2 years and 2.97. So, ito na yung term na hinahanap natin. Next case is, if the future value is given, the terms of an annuity due may be determined by observing the following steps. So, like sa present value is, i-divide natin yung future value or yung compound amount of the annuity due by its periodic deposit or payment. Hence, the C, or the future value, divided by the periodic payment, which is A. So, next procedure naman is multiply the result in item 1 by the present value of 1. So, gaya rin ng sa present value, i-multiply lang din natin yung item 1 sa ating present value of 1, which is quantity 1 plus interest rate to the power of negative 1. So, next step is locate the factor, the product of the item 2 in table 3. So, gaya din ng sa present value is, ang magiging point of reference din natin is yung periodic interest rate. So, ilolocate lang natin ito sa ibang table, which is that table 3. So, next step is interpolate in case the product of item 2 does not match exactly with the value factor in table 3. Add the result of interpolation to the value in item 3. So, same lang din sila nun sa sa present value. So, last naman is divide the value of item 3 or item 4 by the frequency of conversion to determine the terms of the annuity due. So, let's have an illustrative problem. Angel planned to accumulate 100,000 pesos for her college education by depositing 4,500 pesos every beginning of a quarter. If money is worth 12% compounded quarterly, how long will it take to accumulate the amount? So, given the values na C or the future value na 100,000 pesos and the periodic payment which is 4,500 pesos and the periodic interest rate 12 which is magiging 3%. Then, ang ating frequency of conversion na 4, hahanapin naman natin yung N pati yung T. To solve for the factor value, sa step number 1 is i-divide lang natin yung future values sa periodic payment. Then, i-multiply natin siya sa ating present value of 1. So, magre-result siya ng 21.57498. So, ito na yung ilolocate natin na value sa table 3. So, from table 3, with I is equal to 3%, the value 21.57498 lies between 20.15688 and 21.76159. So, given yung ating interest rate na 3, so, ang nakuha natin na value factor lies between these values. So, ibig sabihin, ang ating N lies between 16 and 17. So, since hindi natin exact na allocate yung value factor na nakuha natin is gagamitan natin siya ng interpolation method. So, gaya rin ng ginawa natin kanina, by interpolation, the exact number of periodic deposits is determined as follows. So, first is kukunin din natin yung kanilang mga differences. So, ang difference ng 20.15, 688 at yung nakuha natin na value factor which is 21.57498, ang kanilang difference is 1.4181. Then, ganun din sa kanina is kukunin din natin yung difference ng dalawan. Then, ang kanilang difference is 1.6040471. Kukunin natin na naman yung difference ng compounding periods na 16 pati yung hinahanap natin na compounding periods. So, para makuha natin ito, is i-divide lang natin yung dalawang difference na nakuha natin sa kanilang mga values. So, 1.41810 divided by 1.60471 is equal to 0.88371. So, gaya rin ang ginawa natin kanina, i-add lang natin yung compounding periods ng 16, number of compounding period ng 16 sa D factor. So, 16 plus 0.88371 is equal to 16.88371. So, now, para ma-determine natin ang ating term is, since ang frequency of conversion natin is 4, because this is quarterly also, so, i-divide lang natin yung number of compounding periods sa frequency of conversion na 4. So, it will result in 4.22, which is ito na yung magiging term natin. 4.22 years or 4 years and 2.65 months. So, ibig sabihin is, ganito katagal ma-accumulate ni Angel ang 100,000 pesos. So let's proceed to finding the rate of an annuity due. So the rate of an annuity due may be determined by the use of interpolation. So magagamit din natin yung interpolation method, providing the values are known. First is the present or the future values of an annuity due, then the periodic payment and periodic rate. So kailangan din natin itong values na ito. If the present value is given, the rate of an annuity due may be determined by applying the following procedure. So may mga procedure din tayo na sinusunod dito. First is deduct from the present value in periodic payment. Hence, balance is equal to P minus 8. Next procedure is divide the balance in step 1 by the periodic payment. This will be the value factor to be located in table 4. Present value of an annuity due of 1 per period. Hence, the value factor is equal to balance divided by the annuity payment. Next step is locate the value factor in table 4. So this time naman, ang gagamitin natin na point of reference is the N, or the total number of compounding periods. So next naman is interpolation. So in case na hindi magmatch yung exact, or hindi natin mahanap yung exact values sa table 4, is gagamitin natin yung interpolation method. Then last step is multiply the value of step 3 or step 4 by the frequency of conversion to determine the nominal rate of the annuity due. So hence, R is equal to F times interest rate I. So let's have an illustrative problem. A personal computer is selling at 65,000 cash. Princess offered to buy it with a down payment of 8,000 and to pay the balance on 12 quarterly installment payments of 5,500 pesos every beginning of the quarter. Find the nominal interest rate. So given the present value of an annuity due P, 57,000 pesos, because naka-down payment na yung princess dun sa 65,000 pesos. So yung down payment niya is 8,000. So ima-minus lang natin yun sa 65,000 pesos. So magiging 57,000 na lang. So the periodic payment natin is 5,500. The total compounding periods is equal to 12. Then ang frequency of conversion natin is 4 because quarterly. Periodic interest rate, so ito yung hahanapin natin. So following the procedure, to solve for the factor or value factor is ima-minus natin or i-deduct natin yung present value sa annuity payment. Then i-divide naman natin siya again sa annuity payment. So 57,000 minus the annuity payment, which is 5,500, then divided by the annuity payment, 5,500 is equal to 9.36363. So ito yung ilolocate natin sa table 4. So procedure number 3, from table 4, where yung N naman natin yung gagawin natin na point of reference. So the value factor 9.36363 lies between 9.38507 and 9.11858. This means that the periodic interest rate or I is between 4% and 4.5%. So by the process of interpolation method, the exact period rate is computed as follows. So gaya ng ginawa natin ng interpolation method kanina sa paghanap natin ng terms of an annuity due is kukunin din natin yung mga differences ng mga given values, which is ang difference nito is 0.021144. Then ang difference naman ng 9.38507 at yung 9.11858 is 0.026649. So para makuha natin yung difference or yung d-factor dito, is kailangan natin itong mga differences na to. And madadagdag dito is yung difference ng ating two periodic rate or given periodic rate na 4% at 4.5%. So ang kanilang difference is 0.50%. So to find the factor D is i-divide natin yung mga differences. 0.02 144 divided by 0.26649. So, i-multiply natin ito sa 0.50%. Yung difference ng 4% at 4.5%. So, ang D factor natin ngayon is 0.0442%. Hence, the exact period deposit is i-add lang natin yung periodic interest rate na 4 sa ating D factor. So, we have 4.042%. So, para ma-determine natin yung nominal rate compounded quarterly is we have the procedure number 5, which is i-multiply natin yung frequency of conversion na 4 sa ating nakuha na interest rate. So, 4 times the interest rate na 4.042% is meron tayong nominal rate na 16.17%. When the future value is given, we can observe the following step. So, dito naman is i-add natin yung future value sa periodic payment. So, yung sa present value is i-deduct natin yung future value sa periodic payment. Dito sa future value naman is i-add natin yung periodic payment sa future value. The next is i-divide din natin siya sa annuity payment. Gaya ng procedure 2 din dun sa present value. Next naman, procedure number 3, locate the value factor in table 3 by making the total number of compounding periods n as the reference point, where n is equal to n plus 1. The corresponding value of I is the periodic interest rate. So, dito naman sa pag-locate natin sa value na nakuha natin is gagamitin natin yung n as the reference point, kung saan yung n is mag-a-add tayo ng 1. So, next procedure is interpolate in case the value factor does not match exactly the values in table 3. Next procedure, multiply the value of step 3 and step 4 by the frequency of conversion to determine the nominal rate of the annuity due. So, R is equal to F times I. So, we have the illustrative example. Hazel needs 50,000 in 1 year from now. She will deposit the 11,500 pesos every beginning of the quarter for 4 periods. Find the interest rate if money is compounded quarterly. So, given ang mga values, 50,000, future value of an annuity due is 50,000. The periodic payment is 11,500. The total compounding periods is 4. Then the frequency of conversion is 4. Then hahanapin natin yung periodic interest rate. So, ano nga ba yung periodic interest rate na kailangan ni Hazel para makakuha niya yung 50,000 in 1 year? So, following the procedure to solve for the value factor, is i-add natin yung future value sa annuity payment and then i-divide natin siya sa annuity payment. So, 50,000 plus 11,500 divided by 11,500. Then, magre-resulta ito siya into 5.34783. So, from table 3, where n is 5, kasi nga yung ating n na 4 is mag-a-add tayo ng 1. So, magiging 5 siya. So, the value factor 5.34783 lies between 5.33574 and 5.36247. This means that the periodic interest rate I is between 3.25% and 3.50%. So, with the process of interpolation, the exact period rate is computed as follows. So, gaya ng ginawa natin sa mga previous interpolation is kukunin din natin yung mga differences. So, ito na yung mga differences nila. So, difference nito, 3.25% at yung 3.50% is 0.25%. So, kailangan natin yung tatlo na to para makuha natin yung D factor. So, now, para makuha natin ito, is i-divide natin yung 0.01209 divided by the 0.2673. Then, i-multiply natin siya sa 0.25%. So, mag 0.113%. Hence, the exact periodic deposit, i-add natin yung 3.25%. So, magiging 3.363%. So, para makuha natin yung nominal rate compounded quarterly, So, sa procedure 5 is i-multiply lang natin yung frequency of conversion sa nakuha natin na exact periodic deposit. So, it will result in 13.452%. So, ito yung periodic or nominal rate na kailangan ni Hazel para makuha niya yung uh, 50,000 pesos. Pwede natin i-check kung makukuha ba ni Hazel yung 50,000 kapag nag-deposit siya ng 11,500 pesos in every beginning of the quarter for 4 periods at 13.452% rate. So, ibig sabihin is, that's all for my report. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.